Welcome, everybody, to the Jack Vale Show. I'm your host, Jack Vale. This is my daughter,
Madysyn, co-host.
Very good. And last week, in the first episode, we wanted to kind of, we gave a little bit of a description of who we were and backgrounds and stuff like that. And this time, we thought it would be fun to do a little bit of a deeper dive into where we sort of came from and what we do for a living and what, you know, our livelihoods and stuff like that. So I'm going to start by talking to you because you are a singer songwriter and you have been one technically ever since I can remember.
Yeah.
Probably since even 4 or 5. So tell me about what you think. How has your music career? Actually, first of all, I want to. There's another question I want to ask you first. Do you feel we moved here from Huntington Beach? We moved to Nashville about 5 years ago, roughly, something like that.
6, yeah.
Were you 16, 15, 16, 15?
I was
15
because we did when we moved here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like moving to Nashville helped your career at all? Was it a good move for your career, or do you think it doesn't matter?
I think at first it probably helped. But at the same time, we did move here like right before the pandemic hit. And so
I mean, I'm talking about the first time. You're talking about when you're 16.
Yeah,
when you were young. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot we moved here twice.
I know, that's a
the
weird
first time we
story.
moved here, I filmed my first single here.
Oh, that's right.
And I had a blast, and I still have that single up, which is funny because some songs I don't have up anymore.
What is that song called? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Tell them. What's it called?
Well, there's a couple.
Well, what's the music? I'm talking about the music video, like the real.
The one that's still up?
Yeah.
Fall for You?
Fall for You.
Fall for You.
It's a great song.
My first song that I wrote and recorded and released. That was like my original. Just kidding. It wasn't my first, but it was the first one that I actually liked. And
later we can talk about your first.
Okay. I think at first I was like really excited because it's like Music City and all that. And I really don't know if it really made a difference because I feel like I would have done Fall for You in LA too. Like, and it probably would have done the same. My manager at the time did live here. So that helped out with things as far as like collaborations and connections in Nashville. But really thinking about it, I feel like they were probably the same. I mean, LA is also a music city. But once I got into country music, it probably helped me when I was out here. But I'm not doing country music anymore. So
that's the other thing. Like you sort of evolved over the years, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And so do you you don't do any country music anymore, right?
No,
is that correct?
That
okay.
is correct.
Okay. Not that you ever really did it ever. If you think about it,
I have
really,
one
right?
country single out, and it doesn't sound country really, but it is labeled country pop. But I don't sing that genre anymore. It's not me.
Yeah. Did you, now be honest, it's okay to say this, by the way. Did you feel like you were kind of like being forced into a corner that you had to like stay in country music for a while?
Yeah.
When you were a kid?
Absolutely.
Wow. No question about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously I started out in pop with the pop game. And then once I branched out of that, everyone around me was telling me to do country music.
Who are these people?
My family and friends and
what are their names?
Everyone, really.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of wanted you to do country.
Yeah.
So you probably got that from me a little bit.
I mean, I'm pretty sure my vocal coach at the time was telling me that. My manager at the time was telling me that. And I was kind of like told, well, you can do like the whole, you know, Taylor Swift thing, start out in country and then branch off into what you actually want to do once you have the platform to do that. But I found myself not enjoying my craft anymore.
Ooh.
And I wasn't like motivated, and I didn't know how to write country songs because I don't know. I'm not country. Like I grew up in Southern California.
You couldn't relate to them.
I couldn't relate to it. I listened to country music. I can't deny that. I listened to country music my whole life because I enjoyed it. But making it and singing it, I kind of felt like a fraud and I wasn't really motivated to do that. And so now working on what I actually like to do, I've found that I'm way more passionate and I'm like writing songs all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. So you found your niche. You morphed into something that you really wanted to do. Which is what?
Which is indie pop.
Indie pop.
Yes.
Okay. And that's a real.
It's pop, but it's like indie pop can be a bunch of different sounds also because there's like.
Explain a little bit about indie pop.
Indie pop is just like you have pop, which is like your generic standard pop music. You like turn on the radio and it's like hits one or whatever, and it's playing you like, you know, all the like Ariana Grande. And then indie, there's a bunch of different genres, like subgenres in indie. So basically it's just pop music, but going against the grain.
Yeah.
So mine is more like, the music I'm working on right now is more like vibey. It's really interesting. There's a lot of real instrumentation, which I really enjoy, instead of just like electronics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's just considered pop, indie.
Do you enjoy doing covers too, as well as originals?
I do. I don't do it a lot anymore.
You know what I've been thinking about since the last show?
What?
Since our first show was Trouble.
Oh, yeah.
That is a cover that I would love to see happen. I'm telling you, I could just
you just
picture
need a
this,
lot
like,
of oomph for that song. Takes a lot of power.
Yeah, definitely. Has it been, do you think that you're going to stay there? Like you're at indie pop now? You think that this is like the thing that you love to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. Do they play indie pop on the radio?
Yeah. I mean, indie's huge right now.
Wow. So,
It
okay.
is.
All right. Gotcha. That's awesome. Well, I'm sorry that you were forced to do country music.
Well, but I mean, you know, I was like young and I just like was like, oh, I want to do music and I want to be famous or whatever. And now I'm to the point where I just love making music and I don't care if I get famous or not from it, as long as I can do what I love and like pay my bills.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I totally know what you mean. You feel like you're, no, you know what I want to know? I want to know what would be your plan B career, your top career choice if, let's say, and you know me, I've never been, and I know that they're out there, but I've never been the dad who's like, don't do that. Do something real with your life.
Yeah.
Right? Would you say that that's fair?
Definitely.
I'm very like, I really want you to be happy. I want you to do something that you're really going to enjoy.
Yeah.
My Grandma Val did that to me. So she was always like, she always really got a lot of satisfaction out of watching me thrive doing what I love to do. And that's how I feel. Like I see you happy or doing something that you love, and it makes me feel so great. So, but let's just say hypothetically, okay, you took a turn at some point or you decided, I don't know, things aren't working out or whatever. And now you're like approaching your late 20s and you're like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
What would be plan B for you?
Plan B.
Yeah.
I mean, plan A isn't even necessarily like being like a famous artist, but more so of like an established songwriter. Because I've noticed that I've really been into songwriting even more so than like performing and stuff like that. So if neither of those worked out, then plan B, I don't know. I just feel like I couldn't see myself doing anything outside of the music industry. So maybe something like, I really want to take some music business classes and learn more about like the business side of things, or like tour managing, or
oh, interesting. Tour managing.
It's just something in the music industry because I just find it so fascinating. And like,
really?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't go in a completely different direction, most likely. You would stay in the industry somehow.
I would want to, yeah.
Really? That's awesome.
I don't know. I've just always been passionate about music, and so I don't want to even, I don't know, like do anything else outside of that if I wouldn't enjoy it.
You like writing?
If I had other, yeah, I do love writing.
Better.
I love writing, more than performing. But I think that's just because of like the nervousness I feel, because I've never been like one to like want to be in the spotlight, and it's just like happened my life.
Wow.
Like performing and like, I don't know. It's weird. I just, I love making music, but I've not been like, oh, I want to be famous. I want to be in the spotlight. I want to. It's just happened for whatever reason.
You know what? I think I have to tell you, I feel kind of the same way.
Really?
Yeah, because if you think about it, I was never in the spotlight. Before YouTube, I wasn't in the spotlight. Before YouTube, I had every job you could think of.
Yeah.
So I did everything that you could imagine to earn a living. And I switched from one thing to the next, I had my own business, to this, to that. And then if something didn't work out, I'd try something else. And then when YouTube happened, I became the guy at the forefront, you know, doing something that I couldn't have imagined in my wildest dreams I could ever earn a living from. And that's make fart sounds for those of you that have no idea and you're listening to this for the first time. That's a real thing. I mean, I never would have thought you could make fart sounds and build a wonderful career. He could support your family. But it led to all these other things. And I ended up, you know, being this prank guy who was doing all these funny videos. So you're in the videos all the time. We're talking about like 1,000, maybe 1,200 videos or something over the years.
Yeah.
But now I feel more like I love being behind the scenes. Like now I'm getting to, I mean, we're doing this and I like this because this is just a conversation we're having, but I feel like, you know, I get to produce movies now and I get to be behind the scenes.
Which you were doing, you started in acting when you were younger, right?
I did. Oh yeah, that's a whole other thing. That's a topic for another time. That would be a fun topic, actually. I should have to.
Well, now that
sorry, no,
now that you're producing movies and like stuff like that, do you want to like make cameos in the movies you're making or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, but I think I legitimately would mean cameos. Like I don't see, unless it happened for some weird reason, I don't see myself, you know, I don't have any interest in casting myself for some big giant role or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
just
it would be fun. I mean, yeah, because producers, directors do that all the time.
Yeah.
I don't really have any aspirations to be a director.
Okay.
I just want to produce.
Yeah.
Because producing gives you some more freedom to kind of do some other things. And but no, I just, you know, there's something about being behind the scenes and not quite on the forefront. I don't know, it takes the edge off a little bit. You can look at other people and notice what's funny and what's not and what, you know, you can make changes to it.
Yeah.
I just really like it. So I think I can kind of relate to that. But at the same time, like with you, you'd probably be perfectly happy being an artist at the forefront on stage singing,
absolutely.
Right? So you would love that too. But if it didn't work out, maybe you would be just as happy.
Right.
Doing, yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally get it. Is there any, so besides the genre, I have a question for you because we were talking about earlier, like in the prank world, there's all this, you know, clean pranks, unclean prank, you know, there's all this edgy stuff too out there.
Yeah.
So in the music world, it's the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've got filthy music. You've got like really, really bad stuff. And then you've got squeaky clean stuff. I don't even know who would be a good example of a clean artist. Yeah.
It's interesting that I have to think about this.
Wow, really? There's that many?
I mean, other than like Lauren Daigle, like Christian artists.
Really?
Like, you mean like,
well, we don't have to say
mainstream artists?
Yeah, like let me give you an example.
Okay.
There's an artist that comes to my mind, John Mayer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not squeaky clean, but he's clean.
But he's clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say clean. He's like a PG-13 artist.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
That makes sense. What would you consider? What would be your sweet spot?
That I listen to or that I make?
No, that you would make 5 years from now. You're on stage singing. You see your career in front of you. PG-13. If you say
I would say John Mayer is the sweet spot.
Oh, John Mayer?
Yes. Because now that I think about it, because his songs are so broad and like topic-wise, language-wise, he's very in the middle.
Yeah.
And he talks about like common song topic stuff, but also like really interesting stuff that I like to listen to.
I love John Mayer.
Me too. He's my favorite.
Big fan. Your brother is a big fan. Jake loves John Mayer.
Yeah.
He's such a good guitar player.
He is. He's insane.
Do you remember I got your brother a concert to John Mayer one time? You remember that?
Yes.
Oh, There was something. Did you hear something?
That was weird. I don't know.
I wonder if anybody heard that noise that just happened. Chris, could we turn the camera over to Chris somehow? We can't because we're on tripods.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wish nobody's gonna know what the heck we're talking about because they probably didn't even hear it. Chris farted, by the way. By the way, just put it out there. Like I was saying, Jake, I'll never forget that day because I think we were in Roseville.
I think it was, yeah.
I think it was. We lived in Roseville, and I got him a concert to John Mayer, and it was like a special benefit thing. I mean, the concert wasn't, but the auction was, I think, and I had to purchase it through some benefit thing. Anyways, we had front row seats. It included a signed picture, a poster of John Mayer, and all this kind of stuff, you know.
Crazy.
And I'll never forget when I gave it to him for his birthday. He lost his ever-loving mind. He couldn't believe it. So I think he may have teared up a little bit.
Oh,
as
yeah.
a matter of fact, he was very excited. He liked him so much. And then we went to the concert and got to meet him.
Yeah.
You know, get pictures
What was he
with
like?
him.
Was he just
Shy.
like super chill? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of shy, kind of timid, but super like nice. He's the guy that you would meet and you would think, "Wow, what a sweet guy."
Oh,
you know what I
cool.
mean? Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Do you what instrument do you like to play mostly?
I have always played piano and I've always been terrible at guitar, but I feel like I'm getting better now that I've been practicing constantly. And I definitely always pick up my guitar before going to the piano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you have to think, you need to think of a plan B that has nothing to do with the music industry.
Okay.
I want to know, because I'm thinking of one right now in my head.
For me or for you?
For you to ask me this question. I want to tell you my dream that I really want to do. I'm going to tell it to you. Yeah, I have a plan B. I have a plan B, but there's two. I can't wait to sell them. To tell you what they are.
Okay. That has nothing to do with the music industry. I think
Correct.
I would want to maybe try acting.
Okay.
I know that's still like the entertainment industry, but it's not music.
No, it's totally different. No, that's a great answer. Yeah.
I probably would want to try that because I did it a lot. Like I went on a ton of auditions when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then stopped when we moved here. So I think maybe pick that back up again.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Totally get it.
Your turn.
Okay, my turn. It would be, I'm going to give you my first answer and then my second. My first answer would be, and I've always said this since I was very young, I would be the owner of a drive-in movie theater.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah, yeah. And it would be like the classic retro. I mean, you can look at see all this retro stuff going on here?
Yep.
So you know how much I love this stuff.
Yes.
Look at this Coca-Cola thing here, bar with the stuff and all the stuff everywhere. I love it so much. And the diner. This is pretty freaking awesome. A gumball machine back there. Look at this. Chris, switch
Very
over there.
excited about his gumball machine.
I love that gumball machine because that's a gumball machine that was outside Save Mart when I would go out and Grandma Val would let me have some gumballs.
Aw, that's nice.
Yeah. It's but I just like that kind of stuff. I didn't even grow up in that era, but I love it because it's colorful. And, you know, I told that to somebody the other day and they said, you wouldn't have wanted to be born back in the 50s. Because I always used to say that. I'd want to be born back in the 50s. I think I was born too late.
Yeah.
I was born in 73. And those guys, you know. So the 50s, it was just this clean cut image and all this kind of stuff. And I thought, you know what? I would have wanted to be like a early teens in the mid 50s, you know? So I could have watched Elvis's progression and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all this, soda shops and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris, is everything okay back here? Chris is trying to be quiet. I don't know what camera I'm on right now, but I'm going to look at all of them. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know what to look at, but Chris, which one is it? What turned off? The light? Oh, the light. There's a light that turned off back here. Anyways, I heard somebody in the back here trying to be quiet, but it sounded like a big wet dog trying to just And then I told somebody that the other day that where, you know, I would want to grow up in, and they said, you wouldn't want to be in the 50s because of all the racial stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And my comment was, no, I think I would have been. I mean, it's because, yeah, well, no, because if you think about it, wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Like, wouldn't you want to be doing something good in that era? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I was in a movie called Pleasantville.
Yes.
And long time ago. And there was this, I don't know what the heck happened to it, but somebody gave me a racial sign that was in a window at one of the storefronts. And everybody kind of got to take something, a little prize, you know, from the set or whatever. Right. And I don't know what happened to it, but it was one of these racial things that said a specific type of person could come into this store, right? Oh. So they had all these, and then they had drinking fountains for these people and over here, and because it was all set in the 50s. It was a 50s town.
Gotcha.
And I don't know, it was really weird because we got to be on set for like 3 weeks, and it sort of gave you this weird like inside look to what it may have been like. You know, yeah, think about that. Like you got to walk around in this 1950s town and actually see what some of this discrimination would have been like. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would have always thought I would have been like part of the bigger, I would have been part of the cause that did something great, you know, in the 50s, and enjoyed all the colors and the retro signs and whatnot, you know. But what's your favorite era, by the way, before we move on?
The 70s, I think.
Wow, that's when I was born. Wow, really?
Yeah.
The 70s?
Yeah.
What is it about the 70s?
I just love it. I like the style. Wow. I like, well, the 60s and 70s, because like I like the whole hippie era.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of like, I don't know, just peace, and
yeah.
I love their outfits and the music. Yeah, definitely that.
So we talked about you know how we talked about your music career?
Yeah.
And everything. There is a gnat.
I know, and he
flying around.
Wants to go
Can you
up
get
my
it?
nostril.
He does?
Yes, he does. He keeps going to my nose because
he keeps
they're
going
big.
There?
It's like a cave for him to
If I see it over here, so help me, I will.
It's gonna go in my mouth and my ears.
So there's only one of them, right? And it's the same one. Okay, there's a gnat in here. We're gonna try to ignore it, but also try to kill it if we see it again.
Okay.
We talked about your music career and how you've kind of evolved and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Listen to that. A little motorcycle, hot rod, something going on back there. And it has been really hard for me. We haven't gotten to really talk about this, but it has been really hard for me to figure out like where to draw the line, because my brand has always been family friendly. And it's always been important to me, because when you guys were little, I just wanted all my stuff to feel like I didn't have to be embarrassed for you to see it.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of artists and creators out there and stuff, you know? So, and I understand, I get it. For me, it was just always, that was always very, very important to me.
Right.
So it's been hard because I started doing pranks in 2008, I guess. And I never would have imagined that it would have evolved into what it became. And it was hard. It was hard walking through it because there wasn't really anybody when I first started who did what I did.
Right.
So there was a couple of guys, you know, there was me and Ed Bassmaster, you know, I still get that all the time. You know what's funny? People associate me with Ed Bassmaster because we used to make all these videos together. Yeah. We should have him on as a guest.
We should, yeah.
We really should. That would be fun. I haven't seen Ed in forever, but people will actually come up to me sometimes and say, "Are you Ed Bassmaster?" I look nothing like him. Yeah, but it's only because they tied us together.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So they don't know. Or they'll be across the street and they'll yell something that only they would get because it's a reference to an early video.
Okay.
But anyway, and Greg Benson, and I almost got this gnat. There it is.
Oh, he's on the mic.
Did I get it? Sorry, I hope this doesn't make a lot of noise. Did I get it?
Ugh, he rubbed it together in his hands.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. There's...
Like it was lotion.
Nope, that's a freckle.
Gross.
Okay. All right, we're gonna have. That's okay. Hey, these things happen. These things just happen. Anyway, it's been hard for me to. I've had to find my place the same way that you had to find your place and figure out what your genre was.
Yeah.
You know, what is your what style are you gonna? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Me too. It's been the same thing. I always knew it was supposed to be family friendly, but the problem was everybody around me is doing all these different types of videos and they're always pushing the envelope. And before you knew it, by mid, you know, I don't know, probably 2013, there was so many pranksters popping up doing all these different things. And they were either faking the prank, right, which I'm not a huge fan of,
Yeah.
or they were just filthy or awful or really, really mean. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it got to the point where I didn't even want to call myself a prankster or even use the word prank. Yeah. I don't know. It's been really hard because as a creator, you want to do something that's different than anything you've done before.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. So you want to be creative, but you also don't want to compromise your integrity. So,
yeah. Because
I grew this fan base where now I got kids listening to me and, you know, families and stuff like that. But here's the thing. Everybody's definition, I think, of family friendly might be a little bit different.
That's true. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like we talked about with music.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Do you
every family is different.
Yeah. What do you think would be a line? Do you think I've ever crossed a line in any of my videos?
I don't think so, but I have seen comments that think so.
Really?
Like, but people just being dumb. Like, I can't believe you fart on people and call yourself a Christian. Like that. You could say that doing that is crossing a line to some people. Everyone just has different boundaries.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
I think I've probably crossed the line a couple times.
Like what?
There was one video that I did where I don't even remember exactly what it was, but it was the way that I looked at somebody when I crossed the street. And again, this is like 6 or 7 years ago. I don't remember what it was, but we lived in Huntington Beach and we went to LA for the day and I did something that just came off a little mean-spirited and I had no idea during it. I just didn't even know. It meant something different than what I actually intended for it to mean. So I tried to be careful after that and go, this isn't what I want to do. I want to make people laugh, smile, feel better about themselves. If anybody ever left feeling like they were the subject of, like they were the joke, I don't like that.
Right.
I don't like that. And then you got people saying, well, you shouldn't make fun of this. You shouldn't do pranks with this type of person, which I strongly disagree with.
What type of person?
Somebody who's overweight, somebody who's too old, somebody who is in a wheelchair maybe, right? Because you're singling this person out in a way that they're uncomfortable with.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get it because all people are people. Like,
well, right, but I'm telling you what the perception is.
When you prank people like that.
Okay, like for example, suppose I'm in a store or an elevator or something like that, and somebody walks in and they're in a wheelchair and you can tell that they are somewhat incapacitated.
Okay.
Do you feel under normal circumstances it would make sense for me to prank that person on video? You would say yes? You would say yes?
Wait,
that's great. No, that's great. I love that answer.
No,
I would ask you the same thing about somebody who's old. What would you say? Somebody who looks like they're in their 80s. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody who's in a wheelchair. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody who looks like there might be something mentally wrong with them.
I mean, I think that you're not doing anything crazy. Like, you're farting on people.
Yeah, well, that's not all I do.
I know.
other things too.
Sorry.
No,
I'm not trying to put you on a box, but that's your thing. Like,
totally
that's your biggest thing.
You're right.
You sell the toy.
You're right.
You should. That's like a universal thing. Everyone does.
Yeah.
So everyone will get it and think it's funny. Not everyone thinks it's funny, but
I agree. There's just a lot of pressure sometimes when you got to stay away from the comments because that's the worst. The comments on videos are the worst.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if I ever told you this story. You could stop me if you want to, but
okay.
if you heard this, but there's this. I got so sick and tired. People would say that I shouldn't be pranking old people.
Okay.
Which I did strongly disagree with because,
Yeah.
well, he might have fought in the war. What does that mean? He doesn't have a sense of humor? I don't understand that argument.
I don't understand.
He might have, you know, he served our country. Okay.
Let the man laugh.
Exactly. Exactly. It's
He used to be a
non-threatening.
kid.
He understands what a fart is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think
That's so
too.
weird.
But the comments are unbelievable nowadays. Like you said, you fart on people, call yourself a Christian. That's the way people are. That's why
I just don't understand.
I
Pops
don't
fought in the
understand
war.
either. Pops fought in the war. Thought what I did was hilarious.
Exactly.
He loved that thing. He
Okay.
loved the pooter stuff.
I was just trying to think about like someone we know who did fight in the war, and then
He was in Vietnam.
think about their perspective. He thought it was funny.
Totally thought it was funny. Yeah.
So it just comes down to like specific people, like individuals.
Yeah. I walked into an elevator one time and we were doing elevator farts. I'm really afraid that if somebody new is listening to this, or like, this guy's just farting in the elevator. He just farts. It's a fake fart, and I don't have one with me. Eventually, I will for a future episode.
You should bring one.
But it's a little piece of rubber. You hold it in your hand, you squeeze it.
Great selling point.
It's
just rubber.
You can make it at home. It's called the pooter, and it's got a little hole in it. You squeeze it, and it makes a fart sound, kind of like that. Okay, and you control it and make it sound however you want. You kind of maneuver it, and this is what this is. So it's just air, and you're making the sound, and it sounds real. And this we're doing these fart pranks all day in Hollywood, going up and down, riding this elevator up and down constantly. And the doors open, and we're waiting for our next victims. And here comes this lady, and she has this wheelchair backed up, and she's pulling the wheelchair, and she backs up this young man in the wheelchair. He might have been in his early 20s or something like that, I would guess. He was clearly mentally somewhat incapacitated, okay? So you knew that something, you weren't really sure, but you knew something was there. He comes in, she pulls in, door starts to close. I'm like, and I even looked at whoever was with me that day filming, helping me. I even looked at them and I was like shaking my head, like, just leave this alone, you know? Mm-hmm. The lady looks at me and she goes like this. She goes like this. She freaked out when she saw my face. Yeah. And she starts going, she's squeezing the pooter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I mean, I got the okay from the mom or whatever, the caregiver or whatever. And so I'm like, all right. So I do it. I put it under my arm like this. I do it. The kid starts laughing. And you could see, I'm not going to exactly do the impersonation, but you should have seen him freaking out. Aww. He started laughing, you know, and he's trying to like look back, you know, and stuff. And I'm just like, you know, and so
that's awesome.
The door's open. He's laughing. She pushes him out of the elevator and then turns the elevator around. He faces me. You should have seen his face. He was so happy.
That's
We ended up getting pictures. Turned out this kid was watching tons of my videos. Now,
wow.
Don't you think that we would have robbed him of
a
blessing, of a really cool moment?
Yeah.
Had we just put people in a box and said, no, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. We can get over it.
Okay.
We can move on. We can move on to another topic. But it's been really hard to figure out what, like in writing, okay? In writing a song, do you feel like there's limits? I see it. That gnat is like a special guest today. It just will not.
You should put featuring Nat.
Do you think I brought him with me?
Maybe.
Because I told you the story. There's a gnat in my car today all day, and I couldn't get him out. Anyways, or her, whatever the case may be. What was I saying? I don't want to lose my train of thought here. This is important.
You said in writing.
And you were talking about when you're writing a song, is there limits to things like language, for example? Do you feel like there are certain words in writing that would just be kind of uncalled for, or do you think it depends on the context, or where would you be with that?
I think it definitely depends on the context in general, but for me personally, I refrain from a lot of words in my writing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just like a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think every writer like has their own thing, obviously, and if they feel like something is necessary to say, they're gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to each writer individually.
Mm-hmm. Has it ever been hard for you to figure that out or no?
No, because I think
Really?
writing comes really naturally to me. And so when I am writing, I don't really think about things. It just like comes to me.
Yeah. As a reminder, for those of you who are listening and every once in a while you hear like a motorcycle or a hot rod go by, it is because we are in the little town of Bonacqua, Tennessee, in the middle of nowhere. There's this really cool place. You heard all about it in the last episode. And there's history here that has to do with Elvis and Johnny Cash. And anyway, it's a very, very cool place, but it's in the middle of nowhere in the country. And I don't know why it's like a magnet for
It's a motorcycle
loud
town.
motors. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Easy to get around.
Yes. How do you feel about, this might sound like a weird question at first, but how do you feel about like raunchy comedy? Stand-up comedy.
I don't watch a lot of comedy, and too much, I think, is like, I don't know. If I am watching comedy, I don't like it to be like super raunchy, because then I think I will say, I don't know if you're gonna like this or not.
Oh boy.
I will say, I think it can be really funny in the right context and used sparingly.
Really?
But dropping like a F-bomb every other second isn't funny. Like if you have to use those words to be funny, then you're not funny. But I think like it adds like dramatic effect sometimes and can be like the language you use does matter. And so if you use it like properly, I think it can be funny.
Do you know who Sebastian Maniscalco is? Really? He is one of the top comedians today.
Yeah, I don't really know.
It's
any
okay.
comedians,
It's
so that
totally
makes
okay.
sense.
That's why I'm going to educate you.
Okay.
Sebastian is like this Italian guy who's very, very animated.
Okay.
And that's what he does with his face. And he's like,
Okay.
let me tell you something, you know. He's got this whole thing that he does. And he's like that. He's not, it's not all the way through his show, but he'll do it something for a certain effect.
Right.
And it is true. I agree. It kind of like makes that moment funnier as opposed to somebody that just kind of always, because there's no surprises. Then it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. Do you feel like there's any drawbacks to I'm just curious what your perception is of this, to me being family friendly?
Any
drawbacks to it? I've chose to be family friendly, right?
Yeah.
So technically I kind of missed out on a lot of opportunities, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's too bad. It's too bad.
But do you regret that?
No, I don't regret it. I'm not
Okay.
going to lie though. It's
Hard sometimes.
it's frustrating.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I think here's why. I think it's frustrating because I'm going to put some stuff out here on this podcast that I've never talked about before.
Okay.
And in order for people to find it, they're going to have to like look for that episode. So when we have like 1,000 episodes, they're going to have to go, where was that one where he said that one thing that really would have pissed off that guy that he said it about?
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be okay. What the heck? No, I'm gonna say it right here because why not?
Okay,
right?
I'm a little nervous.
It's gonna be okay. I'm just gonna say it. I won this kind of actually hurt me a little bit at the moment. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say it. I won a Streamy Award one year. Okay. It was the first year that the Streamies, for those of you that don't know the Streamies are like the Grammys or the Oscars or the People Choice Awards for the genre of video on the internet for YouTube and stuff. So the first time they finally came up with a category for pranks, because it was never really taken seriously before,
Right.
they finally said, listen, pranks are taking over. We got to do something. So the Streamies came up with this, and it was like a VH1 thing that they aired. And anyways, I won the award for best prank channel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there were other pranksters who were like coming out of the woodwork, you know, having excellent careers in pranks. I'm talking bigger than me, you know, more creative than me in some instances.
Okay.
There was a lot of really good talent out there in the prank genre. And so there was me in the category that year. There's Roman Atwood, I remember. And there was Stuart Edge. And anyway, there was a handful of people who were in this category. And I won the award. I was very excited. It meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
I got off the stage and came down, and Stuart Edge walked up to me and was like, "Hey, congratulations, Jack." And I'll tell you, by the way, do you remember Stuart Edge? Do you remember seeing his videos?
The name rings a bell, but I don't remember.
He did a lot of good videos back in the day. He was pretty clean guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he did this like, I think he did this like mistletoe prank one time where he'd hold the, you know, and try to get girls to kiss him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's really a clever guy. Anyways, he came up to me and was like, "Congratulations, really super cool guy." It was the first or second time I'd ever met him, I think. And I left that night, and I remember being passed up by everybody else, and nobody else said anything. Nobody came. Nobody said congratulations, nothing. But Stuart did.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, that's so great. And then that night, I was on Twitter. I got a Twitter notification on my phone, and I look at it, and I see that Roman Atwood's tweet was as follows. Here it goes.
Okay.
Roman Atwood's tweet said, "At Jack Vale, tonight was the greatest prank you ever pulled."
Okay.
So it was rigged. Like, what was the deal? What was he trying to say there, right? Not congratulations, not, "Hey, man, hey, brother, keep up." It was nothing. It was literally, "Tonight was the greatest prank you ever pulled." That was the night that I accepted my award.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah. Is that like,
tweet? That tweet is still live.
It's still up?
Yeah.
What do you think he meant by that? Like, it was rigged, or that like you didn't deserve it?
Yeah. I think, but all of those things. Yeah. Yeah.
But weren't you guys friends?
We did a couple of videos together, but yeah, I liked him. I like him today.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. It's just at that moment, I think he must have been disappointed that he didn't win. After that, I think he won like once or twice or three times, or like he won several awards after that for, I think, more than that category, in fact.
Did you ever reply to it?
No.
Oh. Or like it?
No,
or,
I never did. I never did any of that. But I just remember thinking, man, I think it made me feel like I just don't like this weird competitive. And I think that was the moment where I started to kind of change my perception of, you know, how people were like copying everybody's pranks.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Right.
Now it's no big deal. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah,
now
everyone copies everyone.
Exactly. And you see that and you're almost like, "Oh, that's cool. They did my thing," right? Mm-hmm. Back then, it was a little bit more competitive.
Right. It's like, oh.
You know, you'd see somebody go, hey, you going to give me credit? What gives?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But now it's not like that. And even I don't feel like that anymore.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Though.
Exactly.
So it's like you can't even keep track of all of them.
But at the time, it was like this, right? And then I don't know. It was kind of a bummer. It reminded me that it's important you shouldn't be so competitive all the time. And when somebody wins something or accomplishes something, it would be nice to congratulate that person. Because if you think about it, you had the exact two complete extremes, two opposites. You had one of them, "Hey, congratulations, good job," you know. And then you got the exact opposite of that. So it was, again, I'm not bringing it up because of anything other than to shine a light on the prank world. It's been very, very weird watching it go through all of these changes. Mm-hmm. Today, we're kind of on the back end of the prank.
Yeah. Are all those guys still doing pranks?
Not a lot of them aren't. A lot of them aren't. Now, Ed, I'll say this about Ed Bassmaster. Ed Bassmaster, who has always been considered a prankster, like me, right? I've never really thought of him as a prankster in the same way as some of the other pranksters on YouTube because he gets into these characters and goes out in public.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Well, to me, the videos, even my videos, have always been about the comedy, not the shock, hide around the corner, scare somebody. Those are great. I love that stuff. But it's bringing the comedy to a public forum.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's what Ed does.
Yeah.
Because he's getting into character and just behaving in character that way, however that is, and watching the reactions of people around. Well, that's different. That's a step up. For me, it's the same thing. Like I way more than just scaring people all the time. I love, like, you know how you might watch a video where I'm like sneaking up on people, scaring them. I could just sneak up behind somebody and then wait for them to turn around and like scare them. But it's not as funny if you watch like you watch from the beginning and watch me coming all the way, and then my facial expressions are like, you know, I'm walking, like try to, then it makes the whole thing like, oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I just like the art of the comedy in the prank.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boy, that was a long spiel. I just talked a lot, didn't I?
That's okay. That's what this is for.
It's for me.
It is.
Can I tell you what now it's time for you to talk though. Can I tell you what my favorite Madysyn song is?
Sure.
Are you afraid?
Yeah. It's okay.
Okay.
But be honest. Don't just be like, oh, this is my favorite.
All right.
Even if it's not.
I can be honest.
Yeah.
You'll allow me to be honest?
Yes.
There's not like some secret thing. Dad knows you better not say this.
No.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
care.
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Butterfly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I forgot about that song.
Oh,
you did
my
like that one too,
gosh.
I remember.
Butterfly. That was my favorite on your first EP. Oops. Could I say first EP?
Yes, that's
I
fine.
don't know, can you even find it? Has it been scrubbed from the internet?
I privated almost all of them. I think Pretty
Oh.
on the Inside is on SoundCloud.
Oh,
I
it is?
think that's the only place you can find
Pretty
it.
on the Inside. Get it now on SoundCloud.
I think it got about like one listener on SoundCloud, so that's fine.
Yeah. Can we talk about any of your ex-boyfriends or no? Is that off limits?
Nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It actually does. It actually does. It actually does.
How?
If I just say a first name in a reference to a song, is that okay or no?
How is that?
Or no?
That's fine, but I don't know how that has anything to do with this.
Oh, because I remember Zach used to sing "Party Police."
Oh, okay.
every time he was around you, "Party Police."
Oh, yeah.
Put your can I sing it? Can you sing it with me? That's great. Actually, that was a very good song. Party Police.
Fun fact.
Put your hands up.
Dad was in that song. I say dad like the audio, like we're all siblings. My dad, this host of this podcast.
All of the viewers are they're your brothers and sisters.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to do your part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait. All right. Do you gotta go first? Wait. I'm trying to remember it exactly. I'm not at the beginning, right? I'm after you.
You're like right before the chorus.
Right before the chorus.
Because I go, what's the pre-chorus?
Yeah, do the pre-chorus, and then it'll set the stage for me to do my thing.
I can't. I don't even remember it, honestly.
Oh, let's look it up. Wait, let's look it up. Hold on, I got it.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on.
Okay, you look it up. I definitely did some low-key rapping in this song, which was so embarrassing. But also, I think I was like 14.
Look, here's a YouTube short that says Matt.
You're kidding.
No, it's a YouTube short by somebody named Anthony Madison Rose. Listen.
No. Turn it off.
No, turn it off. Okay, I'll turn it off. Sorry. Okay, sorry. You got to tell me what's off limits. Okay. So that was...
That is...
They reposted something that you did,
yeah,
right?
But that's not Party Police.
But it's so cute.
It's so embarrassing.
Oh my gosh. All right, wait. Wait, hold on. I gotta find this.
Anyways,
Keep talking.
The low-key rap lyrics were, I hit the dance floor. No one could stop me. What's the next part? I hit the dance floor. No one could stop me. Something, laser beam. Turn up the music louder so everyone can hear it. I get them dancing. Everybody's dancing.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone danced to that song.
Really?
That was a horrible song.
Really?
And Dad would go, "'Cause we're the party police."
Because we're the party police.
Yeah. It's oh, good. Okay,
I think I might have found it. Oh, verify your identity. What is this business?
It's because I privated it. So I had an EP come out with, I think it was like 4 songs. Did you find it?
I think so. Let's see if it's gonna play.
I think his phone like.
Wait, I got to double click now.
Oh,
Here we go. I'm
gosh.
really excited about this. It's been a long time. Is it gonna go? One moment. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want me to?
Do we have it? Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I almost got it.
Okay, there were 4 songs, and I had written them when I was all really young, and I actually, who did? Oh, Jason Mater produced them. Shout out Jason in LA, and
Oh, that's right.
he was the first producer I ever worked with, and we did this album, and I was very excited about it. I thought it was great. And then the older I got, the more embarrassing it got, of course. But I think now I'm at the age where it's not as embarrassing, because like watching it like 3 or 4 years ago or listening to it, I was like, oh God, like I'm cringing. I need to take this down. And now I can like listen to it and be like, haha, that's so funny, because it's terrible.
This is ticking me off.
Just don't, just
I'm
forget it.
relentlessly in pursuit of this song, and
I'll
it wants
do
me to
it.
sign
I
up for everything.
have
Thank
it.
you. Gosh. I'm looking for it, and it wants me to sign up for everything.
I got it. I'm in my account.
Okay. I'm not even signed out as Spotify for some weird reason. I don't even know what the heck's going on
I
here.
have to go to my channel. I also,
Okay.
never mind. I'm not even going to say that. That's embarrassing too.
No, say it.
I used to vlog. And, oh wait, can I
Oh,
even
yeah.
look at these?
You
They
know,
were so embarrassing.
you know who's vlogging now is your sister.
Oh yeah. And
She's
she's
doing-
going to be embarrassed when she gets older too. Some of the videos I see her posting is hilarious. I'm like, I used to do the same thing, and now I regret it.
Yeah.
Because the internet is forever, guys. If you look up your name into Google, if you're like posting things from when you're little, those things are still there. And I don't know why or how to get them down, because other people will post them, which is fine. Like,
Well, that's true.
but it's just, it's interesting growing up and then realizing that all that stuff is forever there. I'm not going to be able to find it. You know, I thought I was going to, but
No, you know what's crazy?
what?
Did they scrub it or something? Because every time it says it thinks it's bringing me to that, it says song unavailable.
Oh, that's
Chris,
so
you want to
weird.
handle that real quick? Go ahead. What angle is it on right now? Okay, great. So we're at the wide angle right now because Chris, I don't know, just answer.
Oh, we're closed.
Say,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're not open.
Maybe it's a package.
Oh, it could be, yeah. It could be like a UPS. We're listening to Chris's.
Uncle
don't
Eddie's
know
out
what's
there.
Yeah. This is exciting. You never know what's going to happen here. We can't have dead space, though. We've got to remember.
I know.
Most people
yeah.
are listening to this. So if you don't, what's going on is we got a knock at the door, which was unexpected. So Chris had to take off. Chris is my son, or brother, who's handling all the technical stuff. So he had to go answer the door and see who it is. I'm trying to also listen to like what's going on over there. But anyway, we can keep.
I found Party Police. Do you want me to play it?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Wait, don't do it yet until Chris gets back so that he can like switch the angles.
Okay.
So there's a switcher over here where Chris can like, you know, camera 1, 2, 3, etc. Yada yada yada.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember
I'm gonna
She Was Me?
I'm gonna leave for a second. Please
Okay.
talk to the audience real quick.
Oh.
Yeah, just talk about whatever. Yeah. Oh well. Okay, take it easy.
I'm the new host.
I'll be right back.
This is a lot of pressure. Anyways, there was a couple songs on this EP. One was called She Was Me, and I wrote that one about like seeing my future self, and it was like so embarrassing. Butterfly was actually a really sentimental song. I thought that one was sweet too. I like added these live strings that were actually beautiful. There's one called Good Luck Proof where I was like, it's basically about how all the little things in your day that go wrong lead up to like the worst day ever. And it was like, woke up late, my phone didn't wake me, I ran out of toothpaste, I stubbed my toe, all this. It's just so funny, like watching videos or like listening to things that you made when you were younger. Who was it?
Somebody who says that they're here to pick up some books or something like that.
Oh.
And so we got to call Brian. Brian is the owner of this place. And apparently he has... Yeah. So Chris, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
This is what it is. Can't do nothing about it.
It is what it is.
So Chris is now dealing with... Okay, play Party Police. Let's go.
Okay, here we go, guys.
Here we go. Listen. Now Chris is talking louder. All of a sudden, he's like...
So anyways...
I know. Oh. Right up to the mic.
Like here?
Yeah.
Just like a laser beam.
Great.
Turn up the music louder so everyone can hear it. I get them dancing, everybody's dancing. I wanna see you moving, so pick up your feet. Your hands from side to side, you can follow me. 'Cause everything's alright when you become the beat. You never know until you try. Losing ourselves.
Oh, I forgot about this part.
Oh, yeah, this is... Do I come in after this?
He's coming up.
I'm coming up here. Ignore. Oh my gosh.
If you're not dancing
By now.
that's something we do.
Alive.
Cause we're the party police.
Oh yeah.
Your hands up.
We're the Party Police. Oh, that's great.
Oh, that was horrible.
That is so,
my
he's so
voice.
cute.
My voice.
Were you 12?
I think I was
13?
12 or 13. I think it was 13.
Oh man, that's so good.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
terrible.
Chris, are we good?
Almost
Okay.
good.
Brian's got to get some books back to somebody. So it has been on the wide angle for a long time. There's nothing we can do about it. That's okay. We got to keep going.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Hey, I had a question for you.
Okay.
This is way backtracking.
Okay. That's fine.
So this is going to sound stupid, but because I'm young and you were like the person who introduced me to pranks, because the only reason I know about pranks for my whole life is because of you. What were pranks like before YouTube? Like, was it as big as it is now? Were there like still toys and stuff, like prank toys? Were people still, or did it become big because of like YouTube and
that's
stuff?
a great question. So here's the thing. First of all, prank toys have existed as long as I can remember.
Oh, okay.
In fact, even before I existed, there was, like the electric hand buzzer that you put on and
Gotcha. Yeah,
fake
yeah.
tongues and,
The gum that shocks you.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
chewed gum that you place somewhere to make it think and then you pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been a thing. In fact, you could walk into like a novelty shop and there would be a prank section and you'd spin the thing around and there'd just be constant,
Okay.
all kinds of prank related stuff. So it's always been a big deal.
Okay.
But when I was a kid, I would watch TV shows. Like those were my favorite. Candid Camera was one. There was another show called Bloopers and Practical Jokes.
Right.
That I would watch. And all those shows were just so good. And then when Jackass came around, that was not really a prank show. That was like what would you even call that? It was like just a, I don't know.
So
It was
when
a
you
Jackass show.
when you say Jackass, I think of the movie.
Oh,
I don't know about a
same
Jackass
thing.
show.
Same thing. So before the Jackass movies, there was a Jackass TV show with the same people.
Oh, okay.
So Johnny
I didn't know
Knoxville
that.
on them. Yeah. So they had a show. I think it might have been on MTV or something like that. And they would do all these stunts. That's what it is. More
Gotcha.
stunts,
Yeah.
right? And they were always hurting themselves and stuff like that. But that got really, really big. And then you'd see a prank or two in like, Beavis and Butthead or something like
Okay.
that, back in the day. But pranks have always been a thing. In fact, Candid Camera started in like the 50s and when TV was black and white. and they would like set up different situations where, you know, they'd hire a secretary to work there for the day, like a 1-day gig, and then they'd pull pranks on her all day or whatever. You know, she'd pick up the phone and she'd have to deal with something crazy, and somebody would be on the other side of the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that had been going on for such a long time.
It had, and I think that there's a little bit of resentment from people who carefully articulated the art of the prank, because when YouTube started, it's a free for all,
right,
for everybody that wants to do anything they want. So whatever somebody's version of a prank is, you know, before YouTube, nobody ever saw anybody walk into a grocery store, pull out a couple of cartons of milk and smash them on the ground and watch milk flood the floor and get all over women's purses, people's clothing. Nobody ever saw that, because that's called idiocracy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, how is people are watching this going, I don't get it. How is this a prank? Well, the people who are really like love that extreme kind of stuff are watching these videos over and over and over. And I'll never forget the first YouTube video that I watched that I was like, oh my God, this is what's happening to pranks now. I think it was called Fire in the Hole. And it was this video of this guy going through a drive-through with a soda. And he tossed the soda after he got it. He tossed it back into the window, and it splattered over everybody and got all over I mean, it was a mess.
That's just
right?
terrible.
It's horrible. And he would yell fire in the hole, and he, you know.
Yeah.
It was just, to me, it loses the comedy. Now you're just an idiot.
Yeah, you're
you know?
just like, these people don't even want to be there probably. They're just trying to make their money and go home.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta like, that's why I love, people ask me sometimes like, who's your inspiration? And it's always some comedic legend. You know what I mean? It's always like Don Knotts, for example. I hear voices in the background. We're gonna get interrupted in a minute. I hear Don Knotts. You know who Don Knotts is?
I'm nodding my head like, Don.
You poor thing. Don Knotts. Okay, Don Knotts is, he's a comedian, but he's a comedic actor.
Okay.
He's been in, hi Brian. I'm talking about Don Knotts. What is that?
I don't know.
Don Knotts is Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith Show.
Okay.
Okay. And Leslie Nielsen is also one of my... I hope the audience can hear what's going on right now.
If not, this is going to sound so weird.
It's going to be like, why do they keep stopping?
Why are they just...
And then they're so awkward. They're so weird. They just
can't
stop.
Even get a sentence out. And then...
You have to watch it. See? If you're trying to wonder what all awkwardness is, you're going to have to go to like YouTube or Facebook or something and watch the video. But Don Knotts is one of my favorite. Leslie Nielsen was an actor from like Airplane, the Naked Gun movies. Did you see those? Well, did you ever see Steve Martin's the Pink Panther movies?
I did.
You saw the Pink Panther? Okay. Well, that's very similar to like Leslie Nielsen in the Naked Gun movies.
Okay.
Same kind of humor. It's very goofy stuff going on around him. And he maintains this dumb, look on his face the whole time.
Okay.
It's brilliant. That's what I love about pranks to me. That became my thing. I like to go up and I like to really ham it up and kind of have some fun with it. And that's why here's where I feel like probably I crossed a line in pranks. Okay?
Okay.
It's one thing for people to hear an unexpected flatulence noise, right?
Yes.
That's one thing. That's funny in itself, okay?
Yeah.
But it's another to go walk next to somebody and then hike your leg up. And right? Now there's some people who like that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's not one of my favorite things to do. In fact, I don't really like it that much. Chris is always with me when we go film these videos. He's like, Dad, this is what the people want to see. You got to like push the envelope a little bit.
Yeah.
But for me, that's not funny.
Okay.
Their reaction might be funny because they're appalled, But the comedy is not just the person's reaction, it's in the presentation of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you can maintain a, what's the matter, Chris?
And it's funny.
And it's fun. Well, it's but wait, and what's funny?
Lifting your leg.
Well, I mean, maybe, but it's a little bit more bold than like.
It's really bold. If I had no idea about pranksters like farting on people in public, and
Hey, Brian. Wait 1 second. I want you on the show in a second. Just hold on 1 second. You go first. Finish what you're saying.
If I had no idea about that and someone like squatted to fart on me at the supermarket,
Okay.
I don't know what I would do, but I understand why some people like it and some people don't. Because
Okay. See, so you understand. You
cannot
get it.
even, yeah.
Okay, well, one of the people who don't is here with us today. My good friend Brian. Could you talk into the mic for a second, Brian? Okay, just real quick for just a minute, because Brian is one of these guys. Here, come around this if you can, and then just be right here. Brian is here. He owns the Storytellers Museum. You can sit down here for a minute. You're not afraid to say you're really not a big fan of the videos that I do where I get a little more aggressive, right? Is that right? To say why that is. Say why that is.
I think I told you the other day I don't like it when you lift your leg because it reminds me of a dog. Isn't that what they do?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So it just seems it's now in a different category.
Yeah. So there's something, would you say that it's more comedic to walk next to somebody and pretend that nothing happened and you just hear the noise?
Yeah, I think so.
That's funny.
Yeah. Remember, I grew up in Japan where, earthy jokes really go across well in Japan. But even there, I don't think they lift their legs. It's just too much. Do you know, I got to tell you one little story. My brother is so bothered by the word, let's just call it F-A-R-T, that he has a policy with all his grandkids that they cannot use that word. It bothers him that much. And he was once, they were in Germany and driving on, what do you call it? They call it the road? Yeah, but they call it the far hardened, or it sounds like a fart. Okay, all the roads. So people were making these jokes about, here we're going to turn on to the and the and my brother just lost it and had the mark in them in the back, and he said, "You got to stop talking like that because that word itself." And so I think his kids have to use, something like. I don't even remember, but something that he's okay with, but not that word. Isn't that amazing that one word can just, but that wasn't my problem is I don't mind that word. We're all human, right? But it's that leg lifting.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Brian. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Just stop. Don't bark, okay?
Okay.
Don't bark.
Okay.
Don't have that.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. And it's funny because Brian actually, by the way, Brian will, he'll shoot me a text every once in a while, to keep me in check. And he'll be like, I don't really like this video, and I'll go, oh, maybe I should rethink that video, but it's nice. But you know what? Here's the thing though. Now we're on the topic of Brian, but here's the thing though. Brian he's really one of these guys that like, if he says something like that, it's because he's looking out for you. You know what I mean? He's part of the family, kind of like, hey, he's concerned, which I really, really like that a lot. So my point is getting back to the fact that I actually prefer the nonchalant, innocent comedy. Yeah. I think there's more comedic appeal.
I think that's really funny too. I think it's funnier. Yeah.
I
just
agree.
Pretend it didn't happen.
There you go, Brian, if you're still in here.
Oh.
Madysyn agrees with you.
Because it's more real.
Yeah.
Like the other person is going to think,
yeah.
oh my God, that's so embarrassing.
Yeah,
this guy just farted in front of me.
Yeah, right.
So it's more like, haha, this guy.
Yeah.
And then when you're farting on someone, like lifting your leg, then it's like, get off of me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that to me.
And again, if you're just tuning in, this is a toy maker. This is not. I'm not really doing these things. This is just a toy maker. And it's not my favorite thing to do, by the way. It's kind of the go-to.
pooter?
Yeah, no,
What's your favorite?
My favorite prank?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite prank, I would say that I have two.
Okay.
My favorite one is, I'm going to say, well, this is not in any particular order, but I'm going to say them both. One
I have
is,
two as well.
Okay.
So I'm curious.
One is the one where me and Christian laugh together.
Okay, yeah. That's a good one.
Extreme laughter is one of my favorites because it brings so much happiness to people around us,
Yeah.
including ourselves. Like when you laugh, even if you force yourself to laugh like we do, it becomes a real laugh very soon, and the people around us start laughing, and they don't even know what's funny.
Yeah.
To them, it's just funny that two idiots are laughing.
That hard, yeah.
At something they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely one, and I love Christian.
Yeah.
And the other one is Unchap.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I love Unchap, but Unchap's
That one's
hard.
really fun.
It is fun, but it's hard to do.
Hard to do?
It's hard. You've got to get every last ounce of courage up to walk up to that door and know that you're about to tell somebody that their house can't be that color.
Yeah.
And it's
but
hard.
with that vest on, you must feel like official,
Yeah, I do.
right? Because
I
people
do.
will listen to
I
you.
do. I like
They
it.
think you're real.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like that would make it a lot easier.
Oh, it is. It is. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It is a lot. It does make it a lot easier. But that's my favorite one to do. Unchap has always deserved its own TV show.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Which will always be in the works, by the way, until it happens. There'll always be,
Right.
the making of. It's definitely gonna happen. The health benefits, by the way. I want to. You'll see what I'm about to say. Don't look like that. I see your face.
Okay.
Chris, what are we on? An hour? Or over an hour? Look, are we under or over an hour? Over? We're over. Okay. It's okay. I don't mind this kind of stuff. I like this. Okay, so health benefits. I just wanted to close out with saying this. This is why what we do is so important. No, I'm serious because you know
Sorry,
what?
it's just
Do you know what we have in common, Maddie?
what?
Okay. Here's the thing that we're doing this from an iconic place. And for those of you listening right now, I'm going to say it again. This is the Storytellers Museum in Bonacqua, Tennessee, a little town in Tennessee, okay? Just down the road, maybe not even a half a mile from Johnny Cash's farm. In fact, Johnny Cash owned this building. And here's something that Johnny Cash, Elvis, Red Wortham, who originally owned the building, your singing, your music, and what I do for a living, how does it all tie in? How does it all connect? I'll tell you, there's two things. It brings people together, and there are health benefits. There are studies that have shown that laughter should be a regular part of somebody's day. It extends their life. It makes them happier. It makes them healthier, right? Same thing with music. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Music is it should be, in fact, that's why so many people love music and they love all types of music, right? And some people might like, pop or country or whatever. But it's really true. So there's like a correlation there. It does. Don't you think it brings people together?
Yeah, definitely. I would agree.
I do too. Expand on that a little bit. Tell me how you feel about what I just said.
I've heard that singing boosts like serotonin or something like that in you.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things. And I thought that was really interesting. And laughter does the same thing.
Yeah.
So I have really no other information other than that.
I think that's great. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or is this the end?
Yes, I very quickly want to say my two favorite pranks, which are nonsense. I think it's hilarious when you're in the car and roll down your window and then you start asking someone for like directions or something to nowhere. And then also my second one is paranoid. When you're like writing down what people are doing, or like you're on the phone and you're like, yeah, he's wearing like whatever. I think that's so funny. You
know what? That's a fun answer because Pooter was always first, at the beginning. And once I had like 80 or 90 of those videos, I started doing something else.
Yeah.
And Paranoid was the very first one that I did. And
Really?
Nonsense came right after.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So funny.
And Nonsense came because I did a Paranoid video that didn't make sense one time. And I thought, that was funny.
Oh.
And I'm just not going to make sense all the time. And so I did that. I do like doing YouTube and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. But I have to tell you, it's been really, really a blast for me to watch you grow up, because you kind of watched this, this thing that I do. You got to kind of stand by and watch all of this. And meanwhile, I've been watching you throughout your music career and kind of get to where you are now. And it's just been an absolute blast. And I can't tell you how much it means to me that we get to do this now together. So thank you for wanting to do that for me.
It's fun.
I agree. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Jack Vale Show with Madysyn. And we will talk to you next time.
See ya.